Hey everybody, so I'm going to go over a spaceship game that I made. Not really a game, just kind of like a demo to show you kind of what you can do with this. And I think hopefully you can get some ideas from this to apply to your own games. Here I just have a spaceship, and then when I hit spacebar, I'm able to drop bombs, and the bombs explode with the bomb. So I wanted to walk through kind of how we could do this. There's a lot of stuff going on here, so I just need to kind of pick one topic. Maybe I'll do a couple videos. We'll see how long this video goes, but I wanted to focus, I think, to begin with on movement, and then maybe we could talk a little about like creating the bomb. I probably won't go through everything, but I will upload this code. So let's take a look through the app class. And there's a lot of stuff going on here. I want to kind of just narrow your attention down to just like the spaceship class and how I'm using the spaceship class. We'll kind of ignore the bombs for right now. So what you can see in here, like from the standpoint of like the app class, which is actually really kind of running everything, all I do is I just create a spaceship, declare a spaceship, initialize a spaceship, and then in here I'm just constantly, telling the spaceship to move, and I'm telling it to display itself. Again, we'll ignore the bombs for now. I have smooth movement in here that's happening with the key press. I went through a lot of different ways of doing this, and I think this ended up being the cleanest version. Basically, I'm checking to see if the key that I press is right. I should go into the ship and I should say, hey, set right to be true. Or, for left, set left to be true. And then same thing, when I release a key, I'm going to do the same thing. But instead I'm going to say set right to false, set left to false. So what I'm really doing here is I'm pushing a lot of the responsibilities for actually implementing these things into Spaceship, because really that's Spaceship's job, is to handle movement, display, all that kind of stuff. But I want to show that I guess I really want to focus on, the display part, and then also how I do this movement. So let's look into our spaceship class. I do have a lot of variables in here. Some of them are pretty straightforward. I think a lot of them are pretty straightforward. I'm setting up a random color for the spaceship, which takes up a few variables, just kind of getting the color. I have the kind of center locations, and I'm basing all of my kind of movement and like placement of my ellipses around, some colors, and just some like size stuff. So not really super complicated in there. I have speed, which I was thinking about doing like a turbo boost. I might add that in a later video, but right now my speed is set to 5. I could change that. But let's focus down into here about the movement. So it's pretty, actually, let me highlight a couple of variables. I have the left move and right move Boolean variables, which are really important. Actually, I should set these both to be false in here. They're going to actually default to false. Like if I don't put anything, it just defaults them to false, but just to be clear, I'm going to put that in there. And basically just inside my move, I'm just checking the status of left move and right move. If left move is true, then I should be, the amount of change that I'm doing to my X should be -3. If it's right move, should be +3. And otherwise, I think this is really important, if neither one of those are true, we should just set it to 0, and that will cause our spaceship to not move. And then so this is where I'm setting some values, and then in line number 48, I'm actually implementing them. I'm saying, okay, make our center X to be whatever our speed is, which we said was kind of set to 5, times however much we're changing X by. So that's one critical piece, is doing the move. Then when we go down, I guess the other side of that is the display. And display, I'm just constantly drawing ellipses based on the center X and the center Y variable. So right now my ship's not able to move up and down. I could mess around with that. But just kind of based on how this variable gets changed, how center X gets changed, that's going to determine where I draw my ellipses, and that's how it's moving on the screen. Let's see, what else do we have? And I'm calling inside of the app class. I'm just constantly calling, hey, move my ship and display my ship. Okay. Let's see, the last part in here that I think is important is it's really pretty simple. I have a method called set right, set left. And again, I was calling those down in key pressed. And it's just, the only responsibility there is to decide whether right move is true or false, and left move, whether left move is true or false. Yeah, and I think that's about it. There's a couple things in here that are a little bit, I use some if-else here's, because what I really don't want to end up happening is that both right move and left move are both true at the same time, because that's going to cause my ship to kind of not know where to go, and it's going to kind of stand in place, because I'm kind of constantly telling it to move left and then move right, move left, move right. So I really don't want both of these to ever be called at the same time. And I think I even kind of like double reassured myself by up here also having an if and an else if. So only one of these, I can only be calling either this one or this one at a time. Yeah, so I think that's a little bit of stuff that I added in there. There's maybe different ways I could do that, but this is like a really safe way that I could be sure it's only going to move in one direction or the other. Let's see how we're doing on time here. All right, you can stop the video now. You can stop the video whenever you want. You're watching. Okay, so that's how we get the thing to move back and forth. And then, actually, you know what? I'm going to stop it. and I'm gonna make another one for the other video.